Welcome back, everybody on YouTube land. We just left off with activating the last data point to try and transfer Hephaestus. And we defeated this gigantic, I don't even know what he was called. He was like this massive, you know how like they have the Dominus Rex in Jurassic Park and it's bigger than the Tyrannosaurus Rex? That's essentially what it was. And when we defeated him, he just like disintegrated. That's kind of disappointing because I thought I was going to be able to loot all kinds of cool stuff off of him, but whatever. Now we are on the way back to VARL to collect Hephaestus. It's telling me to go this way. What the hell? There's officially no way to go this way. Game's lying to me. Wannabe kaiju, exactly, yeah. The last half hour, or I would say an hour of the game has literally... Oh, here he is. Here's his remains. Oop, just a metal scrapyard with dust. I'd say like this last hour of the game has easily been... Oh, his body's way over here. What the hell? What is he called? A slaughter spine. That's what we killed, a slaughter spine. That's weird. What the hell? His body glitched like crazy. Somehow we survived when we had like a quarter of our health left for 10 minutes of the fight. But hey, I'll take it. And now, hopefully, I can't even imagine what the last boss fight of the game is going to be like if this wasn't it. Like the last hour of the game has just been non-stop mini boss after mini boss after boss after boss. You still have to fight the humans, I guess. We'll figure out how that plays out.
The bypass. The core is stable. Hephaestus is 100% contained. Now we better get started with the merge.
Oh, more skill points, yay.
Gaia?
I probably have like 40 of them. That's what happens when you never upgrade anything. I should just like upgrade everything right before the last boss fight and see how easy it is in comparison to these fights we just did.
Okay, to complete the merge, we need to excise Hephaestus' malicious code. Carefully.
That's the thing, is ultimately I don't feel like upgrading anything in this game makes your damage higher, because your weapons and your arrows are still the same, so it's not like going to increase your damage output, so what's the point? You're just adding more skills to your list of tricks that you can use during the fight. I primarily just shoot, so what's the point of putting skill points into a bunch of skills I'm never going to use? When you game like this, you don't need skill points. Exactly, that's what it is. It's skill. It's all skill. In the world, it's Minority Report. Make that joke a lot in this game.
Eli,
Look! My happiness! I found it! I'm smiling, Aloy! I'm smiling! Delete that then, yeah. I'll take that. We can't have you smiling around here. What the hell?
Well, hello, redundant copy. You cost us quite a lot of time.
Who do you think you are, smiling? Get back in your basement, Beta.
Eric, get Beta. And squash that bug while you're there.
Why would you even shoot your arrow at them? You know it's not going to do anything. Oh shit, son! I was going to say, did you really kill him that easily?
Get behind me.
Come on, quit screwing around.
This doesn't seem good.
Yeah, we're having fun, right?
Holy shit. I didn't actually think they were gonna like kill off any of the good guys. They pulled a Game of Thrones on us. I didn't like him that much, but dang, I didn't want him to die.
Finally. Tilda, get Gaia and Hephaestus ready for transport.
Like there's so many games where that happens. Like they just started doing that in TV shows like the last like 5 years or so, where they actually kill the good people.
All is not
It never
lost.
happens in games. Like this is probably the first game I've ever seen where one of the good guys dies. The hell is going on? This turned into a Superman movie all of a sudden, or Riddick? Riddick? You mean the remake of Pitch Black? Let's face it, that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a cheap, or I shouldn't say cheap, it's a higher production value version of Pitch Black.
VARL.
Red Dead Redemption 2 ending, the good guy does die. Technically, you're not wrong. That's actually one of the only reasons that game was like one of my favorite games when I played it. It's because the ending, I was like, holy shit. He's dead.
Where am I?
Ah, you're awake. You took quite a hit when Gerard attacked you. I imagine you must still be in a great deal of pain.
Not a game that I would recommend playing the
assure you that
campaign
we
a
are
second
safe.
time, by the way. It's
The
so
others can't
slow.
detect us here.
The first time you play through it, it's like, oh, I don't notice how slow this is going because it's new. The second time you play through it, it's like, oh my god, how did I ever play
Beta
this?
would have told you about me.
Where is she?
Alive.
Just drags on and
She isn't where
on.
she wants to be, not in urgent danger. We must discuss how to get her back, of course, after you've shaken off the cobwebs.
Tutorial is
Maybe
over
take
an
the
hour
stairs down the
long.
hall and come see me. In the meantime, I'll make breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay.
Some might argue that the tutorial is 80 hours long and then the actual game is when you get to play as John Marston. You do a 80-hour tutorial so you can play a 10-hour game afterwards.
What is this?
Excuse me, you
Just a
leveled me
few
up without my
favorites from
permission?
collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world.
All that
Take a look,
remains.
if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Cool statue, what the hell is that?
Quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain.
No plaques I can read? I'm actually kind of interested to know what these are. Examine the art. I'm trying. What me? Got him.
My favorite pairing on the left is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery, Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original. Early in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
I want to know what this is.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Oh no. I made my real fortune later.
Tilda, so she was like a stowaway on the Odyssey.
Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn.
Going back to talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 makes me realize I don't think I ever actually finished the epilogue where you play as John
A
Marston.
portrait of the painter,
I think I got like halfway
Rembrandt's
through and got
son
bored and
Titus,
stopped.
depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light.
Does
The
it?
painting is infused with a sense of loss.
Yeah, whatever.
I
It's
guess I understand how the painter feels.
okay, I'm gonna try and guess this one. You ready? This is Don Quixote.
Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia made up of influential
Rembrandt
citizens.
drew a painting of
I
the
guess
Night's
you must
Watch
have
from
been an
Game of
influential
Thrones.
citizen.
In my day. But not as influential as you
Time
think
traveler
in this
confirmed.
new world.
This one is, wait for it, Moby Dick.
The Gust, by Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular.
Did all the
Though
paintings?
waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it.
All these statues are cooler. I want to know about the statues, but she doesn't have any plaques about those. They're way cooler than the paintings. Speaking of Horatio Hornblower, speaking of the Mummy, did you watch that movie The Whale? I thought it was really good.
She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness, out of grief. It's hard to watch her suffer.
Creepy. Was really good. I agree.
Stunning, isn't it?
I cried.
Paintings weren't the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's Lidded Ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial.
Yes.
I have no idea what that is.
Beauty from sorrow.
I'm trying to figure out what this is a picture of or what it's supposed to be. Like a mermaid? Fun fact, most paintings in the 1700s had an extra person in them. There was a color called mummy brown that was made from crushed up mummies. Ah! Gross.
A lot of weight on his shoulders. I know the feeling.
Wait, who is this? Who is Atlas?
Especially your boy.
Oh no, I want to know if I'm right. It's Atlas, right? It's gotta be.
Done so soon?
I've
No.
got more important things to worry about.
No, I wanna
We both do. There is much we are trying to save,
what did I miss?
not the least of which is in that vault.
What did I miss? Done so soon. I'm trying to investigate all the art, but it's not letting me. Whiteboard by Picasso. What other one have I not looked at? I feel like I've looked at all of them, but the quest says it's still not done. Wait, Zam?
The militia. They look disorganized.
Where others painted such scenes in a stiff and stationary manner, Rembrandt chose to show them in action, preparing to march. He wanted them to feel alive. You can almost hear the commotion.
Look at all the musical instruments they're playing
Who's
too.
the girl in the painting?
Ah, gosh dang it.
She's a strange one, isn't she?
Now I had to
Bathed
click
in
each one like
light,
10
though
times.
No one is paying attention to her. Many believe she's a symbol of the militia. A physical manifestation of their spirit.
She's a guardian angel.
But she's not real?
What's real in a painting? She's meant to represent the militia's virtue and victory. But I like to think they underestimate her. She looks as if she's seen something. What does she know? What secrets does she keep? There's so much detail to take in, isn't there?
Oh, so that one's done.
Works of art such as these can often cause us to look inwards at our own lives.
Look at it. It's so beautiful.
I'm sorry about your friend. Had I been able to intervene, I would have. But the risk of losing you as well was too great.
It's like the artist was able to draw a sunspot.
I couldn't get to him.
It's really highly
Long
detailed.
before holograms
It's almost
and
like a
focus
source of
recordings,
light is shining at you from
people
the picture
relied
frame.
on art to memorialize their loved ones. Because of works
So
like
beautiful.
this painting, their lives are immortalized.
Oh shit, there's a person in that picture.
Rembrandt had 4 children by his wife. All but Titus died shortly after she gave birth to them. She passed not long after that. Titus became the only family Rembrandt had.
Which is why he painted him this way.
Indeed. Then tragedy struck again. Disease claimed Titus at 26. It's almost as if Rembrandt painted the future, closing in on him. Rembrandt actually painted several portraits of Titus, but this one has always been my favorite. It's honest.
What do you mean?
Cool story,
In
bro.
others, Titus was portrayed in brighter, livelier states, but here, Rembrandt allows himself to express his true feelings.
Surprised you didn't say
Sorrow,
something.
fear, hope, love. Laid bare on
I didn't get
canvas
like
for
some
all
sort of
time.
a achievement like
I see this one resonates deeply with you.
it does. That's why I shot it right between the eyes. I don't want to look at it anymore, so I had to kill it.
And why can't Celine and Endymion be together?
Celine took a vow of chastity, promising to never take a lover. So when she fell in love with Endymion, she could only visit him at night while he slept.
But then wouldn't she be breaking that vow?
Think of it as a forbidden love. Though circumstance keeps them apart, still they find a way to come together, however briefly.
Aren't Celine and Endymion cold?
Perhaps we should move on to another piece. Shall we move on?
No! I need to know why they're naked. I must know.
Why do you keep the forgery?
I've always enjoyed studying the two
Fake
side by
piece of
side.
crap.
Both painters capture light, color, and perspective. But what makes one a masterpiece
My arrow
and
won't
the
stick in
other
it.
simply an imitation?
The forgery looks sharper.
Good eye. The details are crisp. The contrast bold. It tells us more, and yet we feel less.
What's in the letter?
Who can say? What does the painting tell you?
She's concerned.
Tells me it's
What
time
is
for her
written
to
in the letter
die.
troubles her. Burden. She can't put down.
Fascinating.
Why
Not
go through
actually
so much
that
effort
fascinating.
to make a fake masterpiece?
The forger initially painted under his own name, but found little success. His work was considered unremarkable. But when
Yes,
he took on the guise of Vermeer, suddenly it was celebrated as extraordinary.
But it was a lie. And he knew it.
Sometimes we struggle.
I better
to
get an
believe what is
achievement
real
for
and
all this
imagined,
blabber.
even within ourselves. The irony of these two is that Vermeer died in obscurity. He had no idea his work would become some of the most precious, most copied, most preserved pieces in all history.
Vermeer? Oh no, I've never even heard of him. I actually took my kids to a art museum nearby. Oh, I never looked at that one at all. What the hell? How did I miss that? And I have to say, even in my adult age, I always thought art was something that like you grow a taste for when you get older. It's something like only old people can appreciate. My kids loved all of it, and the whole time I was just kind of like, meh.
This is Rembrandt painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His home.
Some of it was cool though. I like statues more
The
than
ancient
paintings.
city of Jerusalem. He foresaw its impending doom, but could do nothing to prevent it. So instead, he saved its treasures from destruction, just as I saved these works. You could say we're kindred spirits.
Could say that if you wanted to lie to yourself and elevate your status to a more important point than you actually are. Vermeer wears the girl with the pearl earring. See, I don't know anything about art. That's the thing. So, like, the one thing that did kind of capture my interest when I was going through the art museum with them is, like, how many cultures, societies, countries, parts of the world throughout human history that has been cataloged had art pieces based off of Jesus Christ's story. I was like, dude, that's wild. Like, dating all the way back to, like, 200 AD. There were, like, statues made from all, like, eras of life from all different countries of the world depicting Jesus Christ's story and his life and stuff. I'm like, that's mind-blowing.
If he knew his home would be destroyed,
I think that that story has lasted like thousands and thousands of years all over the world.
He tried, but
And
no
then
one
there's
would
still
listen
people
to
out there
his
who are like,
warning, so he
it's
saved
all
what he could.
fake.
But how did he know?
He was a prophet. He saw an army invade and destroy the city in a vision.
So it's more like he calculated.
I don't mind some art. I just don't find it interesting. My friend can sit and look at a painting for hours. That's pretty much where I'm at with it.
If not for him, all those wonders would have been lost forever. At least this
I
way, some
understand
part
the
of his world survived.
importance of it, and I understand the appeal of it, especially when it's stuff that's survived like thousands of years, like something from the 200 AD period. That's fascinating to me enough that I'd like appreciate it, but I'm not like, what does this black canvas evoke in
You know what I
myself?
like the most about this piece? Even though he's the sole
Fish posh,
survivor,
apple
his
shosh.
home in ruins, left with only the remnants of his world. The light keeps the shadows at bay.
How about this keeps it at bay? Blah!
Precisely.
Yourself at bay, you old
Take
coot.
as long as you like.
No, I don't want to. Is that it? Is that all of it? That one. I don't know how I missed that one the first time through. Ah, gosh dang it.
Where is the ship going?
To a faraway land, most likely. My ancestors used ships
Sink
like
the
these
fishing
to explore
vessel.
the world, sometimes at great cost.
What were they looking for?
Anything of value. They were traders willing to face unknown dangers to make their fortunes. But no matter how far they went,
Isn't there
they
like
always
a
turned
mode
their
in a lot
sails
of the
home.
newer Assassin's Creed games that like that's all you do the entire time is you go through like historical artifacts and learn about them? I always thought that sounded fascinating, but I was like, I don't want to play the game. I'm not going to pay $60 for a game just to do like a 2-hour curated walkthrough of historical history, facts and figures and stuff. I have another friend who believes that Jesus more than likely existed, just that the stories are more than likely greatly exaggerated. I hope not. I don't want Museum Simulator. I think there are. Like, I think Odyssey and Origins are the two that have that mode in it. It's like a educational mode that you can turn on for kids.
It was his
They like walk
specialty.
through the world and it like gives them
Following in the
educational
footsteps of his
snippets
father,
of facts
Willem
based
the
on the
Elder.
areas in the game.
The two had quite a journey of their own.
Tilda.
Taking them all the way to the
You're boring
court
the hell
of
out of
foreign kingdom.
I guess I could just skip this, but I'm kind of convinced there's going to be an achievement
But
involved at this
eventually
point.
their lives worked it. Take your time.
No, I'm not going to take my time. Time is valuable and precious. Unlike yours, apparently. If you just spend hours of your life staring at these pictures. Ah! Wait, so not only did these artifacts last thousands of years, but then on top of that, they survived the last thousands of years where humanity didn't even exist
This
anymore?
you
What the hell?
were was a memorial. How did you end up with it?
As the Pharaoh swarm closed in, my homeland's greatest museum gave it to me, along with many other works, in the hope that I could preserve them. A masterpiece like this
Did a
was
good job.
too important to lose to history.
Did a good job.
I even considered bringing it with me off-world to ensure its safety.
Why didn't you?
I took a calculated risk. This vault seemed more secure than the unknowns of space. Besides, I thought someday I might return. A long life, after all, has its advantages.
She's lived 1,000
Now,
years.
lo and behold, here I am. Exquisite, isn't it?
You're exquisite. Nothing to say here. What the hell?
I should move on.
Why is it acting like there's an enemy? What the hell? That was weird. Is that all the art? Ah, there's more! Holy shit. I don't want any more fights. I've fought enough things for a lifetime at this point. Hey, what? How do I get in there? Oh, that's probably the achievement right there. Find your way into the secret room. I didn't get anything for all that. I would have skipped that shit if I knew that. I would expect the paintings to eventually crumble over time without proper maintenance. What you don't know is this is a vacuum sealed room. Human life this many generations in the future has the ability to breathe in a vacuum sealed room for exactly the amount of time it took them to have those conversations.
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point.
Hephaestus.
Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
Tilda, you sexy vixen, you know exactly how to get to my heart. Breakfast.
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat
Music
with
is
you?
really weird.
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen.
Incredible things.
Seen
What you've
images of me
accomplished
showering.
in 2 decades of life.
You creep. You creep. See, I told you I wasn't joking.
My back, and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission.
It's a Black Mirror episode. Those Bluetooths record every moment of your life and you can replay them at any time.
Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down.
She gonna give us a sweet future suit?
There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet.
Specifications, that's a weird
He
way to
calls
say
it
that word.
clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not
He's
if we
rebooting the
do.
world.
And once he and the others are gone,
He's formatting
we
us
can
and
work together to
reinstalling the
fulfill
operating
Elizabeth's
system.
dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge.
You did not mention that?
With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I still think that's a
Stop
cool headpiece.
calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
So you.
Silence.
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Regala and her rebels.
What's going to happen?
Even now,
Cliche
she's
scene of
preparing
two
a
people
final
sitting at
march
a
on the
table on
Tanakh
a balcony.
capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control.
Alloy's gonna get up when she's
Hundreds
looking
of
off of the
warriors and
balcony,
machines
shoot
to
her in the
throw
back of the head
abuse.
with a pistol that she pulls out of
She's
nowhere.
been duped.
Tilda's
All
gonna
the
fall to her
nourishing course.
death.
But it should be enough to break
We're just
Gerard's
gonna wait and
defenses
let
allow
Silence kill all
to
the other
kill him,
people.
along with all the others.
See?
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Cool. A game by Quentin Tarantino. Oh no, not an hour of lore. No.
My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to
Fallen madly
save
in
you
love
at the
with you.
cauldron. You'd be dead,
So I should be grateful?
if you like.
Come on, make it a love story.
So you know all about me. What about you?
Oh, it is. This is their first
What would you
date. She's
like to
getting to
know?
know her.
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school.
Heavy. Started
Among
right
my
off the
peers,
deep
I
end, huh?
was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided.
Just wanted to know about your
Because of
hobbies.
circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First, from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries.
Using
Profitable
AI
expertise in those
scripts.
days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful.
I was
for
right.
counterintelligence.
That's actually hilarious.
From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information. I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, VARL Zenith inevitably sought me out.
Cool, cool. Oh my gosh.
What happened when VARL Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness
Stranger
or
Things
death,
music in the background.
where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. At the time I finally figured it out, the walls
that
were
word.
closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the earth. So I accepted VARL Zenith's invitation to a birth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were, certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was
Yeah,
grateful to
you have to
simply
believe
be
'em.
alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality.
My god, that sounds like my
It
ideal
wasn't
life.
It was stultifying,
What? Come on.
pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more.
Haven't you ever
alone
seen
yet
Ready
again,
Player One? It's perfect.
But this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course.
To be in
To
love.
fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from VARL Zenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
And to have a wife and her own house. This house I built for the two of us.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be. But her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine.
Look, not every single clone can be
They
equally
always
worth
viewed me with
while,
suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it.
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed
Stupid
me to interact
men.
with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a
It's the
chance
vibe
to
I'm
be
getting from the
ourselves.
end of this
Until you
game.
cut off all contact.
Yes, though it pained me.
Very-
I was
very
worried that our
pro-feminine
meetings would do her
ending to
more
this
harm
game.
than good.
Well, she felt like you
Not
tossed
that there's
her
anything
aside.
wrong with it.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems harsh, but you must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
It's a very feminist game, you know, female protagonist. All of the men end up dying or are stupid and fail to their own folly, and all the women stand strong and proud at the
Why
end.
did
It's
you
fine.
make the data channel look like this place?
Something that's needed in the gaming
I
realm,
built this
frankly.
house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life.
I could
A
give her
heritage every
culture.
bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this
I
house
could
with her.
teach you how to speak with a posh
She needed
accent.
its shelter even more than I did.
Say things like, quite, yes, my Swiss bank account.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
Wait, what if what caused the planet they were living on to like self-destruct was all of these cauldrons that were making and spitting out creatures and robots this entire time, and Earth is just destined to have the exact same fate eventually?
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation, a passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
But let me guess, we're not actually going to do it unnoticed, and there's going to be a massive battle.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
Here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, she just negated the entire last 30 hours of gameplay. And everything that I've been trying to accomplish, we could have just done instantly if she just introduced herself to us 30 hours ago.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
Great game. Yeah.
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much. He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus. By tapping them, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
Oh, that's right. There's still Regala.
How did he come up with
Like,
a
there's
weapon
still
that
so
can
many
take
people
down
we
the
have to kill
shields?
by the end of this.
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will
I kind of
work.
forgot about Regala. She hasn't really been a thing
Fit
since
in the
like that very
Tarak army.
first
Victory
boss fight
seems
at the
to be
beginning of the
within his
game.
grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
It's Noct, you know, that enemy that you introduced at the beginning of the game and you haven't done anything with since? Yeah, them. Tell me about
Regala's
them.
only interested in killing Hikaru and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zenith?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hikaru.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to.
Oh,
Yet
do
for
I
all
hear
of
a
Silence's
sequel?
brilliance, still, he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta
You have at
and
least 2
Gaia
big enemies
right
and
out of
probably a
London.
super Dinobot to
While
fight.
hundreds of Tanakh, they're cut down outside.
Not if we can actually steal Gaia and Apollo, go back to our base and create like a massive army of T-Rexes and ride them in there. Ah! What was the sunbird thing too? Like what was that sunbird hologram that I absorbed into my brain? What was that about?
So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Was it an
Yes,
override?
yes.
Because I haven't used those the entire game, so
Everything
that's
she
completely
was.
worthless to me.
I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass.
Your
You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your
sexual
own.
looks.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth.
Your flirtatious
really like?
nature.
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that.
Trying
from
to
the
ship
moment we
these
met.
two and they're just not having it. Just not having it.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly.
Hard to
It was
get.
a summit in
babe.
Paris about machine learning, a touchy subject in those days, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming,
But learn.
but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy.
Oh?
But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers.
Including
It
you?
was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
Oh, here it comes. Here comes the actual reason she introduced herself to Aloy. She's hoping to rekindle that flame they triggered thousands of years ago.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the
Romantic
conference,
sunrise I've ever
she
seen.
had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted.
Like
It was only halfway
soulmates,
through the
perhaps?
conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling.
Friendship, you say? By choice, or were you zoned?
First VARL. Now Hikaru and the Tanakh.
I mean, the Tanakh were gonna die one way or another at this point.
Tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice.
I do remember, it was the
Sometimes
first game.
We have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper.
Hear me out.
Wait. The data channel.
The data channel.
It still exists, doesn't it?
She's smarter than I am. I was actually going to say, what's so bad about letting
Let
them
me
just
talk to
wipe
Beta.
Earth, clean slate, and start over?
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tanakh survive.
But we
Okay,
won't.
your solution seems cooler,
If
I guess.
the others.
If you
Just
want to
letting
help,
everybody die.
open it.
My mind was working the exact opposite way, where I was like, well, ultimately, what will really happen if we just let them wipe out human society? Like, it just starts the experiment over again a 5th time, right? Like, no big deal. They'll reclone us, you know, we'll start from scratch. Maybe it'll be better next time. I still can't get over how good the graphics in this game
What
are.
are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation.
One of the best looking games I've ever
The
played.
manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Newsflash, you don't have to induce the feelings with Beta. She's already there.
Beta, can you hear
You
me?
have the work cut out for you.
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long.
Beta's only feeling is sorrow.
No.
Not wrong.
No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise.
Whoa!
I just need you to hold out a little while
That
longer
escalated
and work on
quickly.
the merge.
Wonder she wasn't interested in Tilda.
Then I think it can be done.
I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
I feel like there is...
Coming for me. I can endure anything.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I do feel like the game's kind of subtly implying an underlying, like, relationship
All
that was
right.
between
I did
Tilda
as you
and
asked.
Liz.
Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Silent's army
Maybe
away.
I'm just making that up because I want, like,
Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it?
a
Ask
romance in this
nicely?
game, because there's been 2 games with no romance
Going
in
to
it.
Rebels, he
Come on,
won't have a
man, we need
choice.
a love story somewhere.
Will be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister. Will be Silent's only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh, there are.
And what are those?
I have to go do more side quests.
And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regalla's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tanakh. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regalla's army and they'll receive...
Oh, I thought she was going to tell us how to, like, bring the Horus Titan back to life. That would have been an awesome ending.
So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring silence to the table.
Not
That Titan's huge.
when.
It's like, it was like the centerpiece of the first game. It was on top of a massive mountain in the middle of the map. You could see it from the distance, like,
Erend,
everywhere.
Are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me.
No.
Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Does Aaron know what happened to VARL?